Hello children, welcome back. So let us also discuss about the dense connective tissue, that is ligament. So children, ligament is a dense connective tissue. What is dense connective tissue? The very first question. What is dense connective tissue? Children, as I mentioned before, a connective tissue which has more fibers in their extracellular matrix. So that is why they are known as fibrous connective tissue or dense connective tissue, right? जो dense connective tissue होते हैं वो fibrous connective tissue भी कहलाते हैं. The very first type of dense connective tissue is ligament. So let us talk about ligaments. What is ligament? Children, ligament is a tissue which connects two bones together. Ligaments का क्या काम होता है? Bone को bone से combine करना, जोड़ना, connect करना. So it connects two bones. That is why it is a connective tissue. Now, if you look at this picture, there are two bones. So this is one bone and this is another bone, right? So as I mentioned before, the crack of bone, that is known as cartilage. यही पढ़ा था हमने कि that is the covering of joint of bones. So what is ligament? ये तो cartilage हो गया. Ligament क्या हुआ? So something which join the two bones. So if you see here, this portion, this one, it is actually joining two bones together. So this is ligament. Understood? Anything which connects two bones, that is known as ligament. So ligament is a fibrous connective tissue because it has more fibers. Children, it contains collagen fiber and elastin fiber. Elastin proteins. So mostly it is made up of by collagen fiber and elastin protein, which is responsible for flexibility of connective tissue. So that is why it is connective tissue. It is flexible connective tissue. It is considerably strong. I mean, it is not very weak, but at the same time it is sometimes not very strong. You heard about the ligament tear have broken off because of not only accident but also minor accidents called ligament damage, right? So that is why they are not very strong, they are not very weak, right? So because of that, ligament damage is there. It is an elastic tissue. It has elasticity, so it can bear twisting and curving without breaking it, right? So it is clearly visible in this picture that without breaking they can twist it here. And all this is because of the presence of protein which is known as elastin protein, because it has the elastic properties, right? So elastic properties are there because of the elastin protein, right? Children, tissue is with very little extracellular matrix. So in the case when you look at the structure of ligament, it has more fiber and less extracellular matrix. That is why it is dense connective tissue, right? So the basic structure is the same, that there is extracellular matrix, embedded cell, but the amount of the ratio differs according to their property, right? Even it is dense, but elasticity is there, and this elasticity is because of the presence of protein, which is elastic protein, right? Now children, let us look at the next dense connective tissue, that is known as tendons. Children, people often confuse between tendons and ligament. Tendons और ligament में बच्चे confuse हो जाते हैं. As I said, ligament are those which connect bones to bones. लिगामेंट जो होते हैं वो बोन को बोन से कनेक्ट करते हैं. बट व्हेन वी टॉकिंग अबाउट द टेंडन्स, सो टेंडन एक्चुअली कनेक्ट्स बोन्स विद मसल्स. Got the difference? See, in our body everything has to be connected, right? It has, if you only connect bone and not connect bone to muscles, what will happen? बोन को बोन से कनेक्ट कर देंगे और बोन को मसल से कनेक्ट नहीं होगा तो क्या होगा? देयर विल बी नथिंग टू कीप द मसल्स इंटैक्ट, राइट? सो एवरीथिंग हैज़ टू बी कनेक्टेड विद ईच अदर, राइट? सो टेंडन्स आर द टिश्यू विच कनेक्ट्स बोन टू मसल्स. टेंडन्स जो होते हैं वो टिश्यू हैं जो बोन को मसल से कनेक्ट करके रखते हैं. सो इट इज़ अगेन फाइब्रस कनेक्टिव टिश्यू बिकॉज इट कंटेन्स मोस्टली कोलेजन फाइबर. जो होते हैं ये कोलेजन फाइबर के बने हैं. इट हैज़ अ स्ट्रॉन्ग स्ट्रेंथ. इट हैज़ लिमिटेड फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी. सो नाउ यू अंडरस्टैंड फ्रॉम वेयर द फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी कम्स. बिकॉज लिगामेंट हैज़ बोथ इलास्टिक एंड कोलेजन फाइबर. दैट मीन्स इन टेंडन्स ओनली कोलेजन इज प्रेजेंट. सो दैट इज़ वाई देयर इज़ द लिमिटेड फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी. क्योंकि इलास्टिन नहीं है यहाँ पर. इलास्टिन प्रोवाइड करता था इलास्टिक प्रॉपर्टी, फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, जो यहाँ नहीं है. सो दैट इज़ वाई इट हैज़ लिमिटेड फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, राइट? बिकॉज कोलेजन फाइबर ऑल्सो हैव फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी, सो दैट इज़ वाई इट हैज़ सम लिमिटेड फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी. क्योंकि कोलेजन फाइबर में भी फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी होती है. तो फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी इनमें भी है. ऐसा नहीं है कि फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी बिल्कुल ज़ीरो है. लिमिटेड फ्लेक्सिबिलिटी इज देयर, राइट? So this is about the tendons. Now let us move towards the next type of connective tissue, which is known as loose connective tissue. Under loose connective tissue we will discuss about areolar and adipose tissue, right? Now children, first we talk about the loose connective tissue, that is areolar connective tissue. What is areolar connective tissue? Children, it is a loose connective tissue. Now what do I mean by loose connective tissue? The very first question that comes in our mind. What do I mean by loose connective tissue? So children, as the name suggests, loose. यहाँ पे word आ जाता है loose. That means a lot of extracellular matrix is present and cells are far apart from each other. Like one cell is there and second cell is there and third one is there. So a lot of extracellular matrix is present in between the cells. So that is why it is loose connective tissue, right? Now what are the characteristics of loose connective tissue? Children, it has loosely organized fiber. Fiber are not congested, they are too much but loosely organized, and abundant of blood vessels are there. Many blood vessels are present and enough empty spaces is there between the cells. Talking about the purpose, so it actually binds skin to muscle, right? As I said, everything has to be connected. फीट से नी कनेक्ट है, नी से लेग कनेक्ट है, लेग से शोल्डर, हैंड, एवरीथिंग हैज़ टू बी कनेक्टेड, राइट? सो द अनदर इम्पॉर्टेंट प्रॉपर्टी इज दैट इट फिल स्पेस इनसाइड द ऑर्गन एंड होल्ड देम इन प्लेस. सो बेसिकली इट फिल्स द एंटायर एम्प्टी स्पेस बिटवीन द स्किन एंड मसल. स्किन और मसल के बीच में जो स्पेस होता है, वेयर एरेओलर टिश्यू इज प्रेजेंट, राइट? It also sometimes help in repair of tissue, okay? और ये टिश्यू की रिपेयरिंग में भी हेल्प करता है. Now this areolar tissue is strong enough to bind the tissue, yet it is soft enough to provide flexibility and cushioning effect, right? So why isn't so off? Because children, it is soft because they are loosely connected. Since there is lot of empty spaces, there is lot of extracellular matrix, therefore it has lot of flexibility also. Like as I gave you an example, which we want to carry some glasses, then wrapped them into the cotton towels to give the cushiony effects, right, so that they cannot broken up. Similarly, these areolar tissue gave cushioning effect to the other organs and hold up into the place, right? So this tissue is most commonly present in vertebrate. It is found in the vertebrates, right? Now children, one unique thing about these tissues is that because a lot of empty space is there, it has got huge flexibility. But at some time, this tissue have a lot of strength. This tissue is strong enough to hold the organs at their place, right? For example, children, inside our body, inside the skin, we have a lot of tissues everywhere. So these tissue helps to keep the organ at their place. Like keep the lungs at their place, not allowed to move things here and there, right? That is the very important purpose. So at one end it is very strong tissue, and on the other end it is very soft tissue, right? So sometimes the appearance of this tissue is very diverse. Sometimes it appears very similar to dense connective tissue, sometimes not always, because their appearance of areolar tissue is not similar always. Sometimes in some places they have a lot of fibers and they look like a dense connective tissue. However, they are the areolar tissue, right? I hope it is clear to you what are areolar tissue. Sometimes some things which fill everything between the skin and muscles, right? So where do we actually found them? कहाँ मिलते हैं ये? Actually, what is the location of these tissues? It is found in the space between the skin and muscles, as I already discussed. It's around blood vessels and nerves. It is also found in a bone marrow, right? So these are some locations where they are present. So these are the some places where you can find areolar tissue, right children? Now let us talk about the structure of areolar tissue. So again, when I talk about the structure, I again talk about the extracellular matrix. So in the case of extracellular matrix, it is fluidy in nature. So it is fluid matrix, right? It is the fluid matrix and it is made up of by proteins. And what are the cells which is embedded in matrix? Children, many different type of cells which is present, widely diverse or dispersed of are the fibroblast. So fibroblast is one of the many of the type of cell which is present in the case of areolar tissue. Fibroblast are there. So this is the most widely found, most abundant in all type of cells are known as fibroblast. So the structure is somewhat look like. So this is the matrix, and matrix which is fluid matrix which is made up of by protein. Inside this matrix we have cells, fibroblast. It has fiber and mostly it has collagen fiber and elastin fiber. So due to the presence of elastic and collagen, again it has the property of flexibility, right? Now children, cells are generally connected by a ground substance which is made up of by collagen and elastic fiber. So how the cell communicate with each other? Children, as I said, in the case of bones, the communication is done by canaliculi, right? So extracellular matrix was very dense, that is why there is canaliculi. But in this case, the extracellular matrix is good enough, which has ground substance, which has some fibers also. So they actually help in communication between the cells, right? Now moving towards the next type of loose connective tissue, which is known as adipose tissue. Children, it is connective tissue which mainly act as fat storage. So basically they act as a fat storage. Adipose tissue. So far we saw that we talked about everything which connect our body and space between skin and muscles filled with the areolar tissue. And next is remain same for the storage of fat. Now you see that there are many people who are healthy enough, who are obese. So where do their fat get stored? When the people eat a lot and don't do exercise, they keep sleeping and eating, what happens? They start gaining weight, right? As they put on weight, what happens with them? They start storing fat, right? Why? Because fat get accumulated inside our body. So this kind of tissue actually helps in the storage of fat. So that is the main purpose of adipose tissue. Got it? Talking about the location, where do we found these tissue? They are found in bone marrow, breast tissue and below skin. So below skin is the area where it will actually start, where we actually start gaining weight, right? Talking about the purpose, so it provide insulation from heat and cold. Now what happened when a lot of fat is accumulated inside of your body? It gives you insulation. You would have seen that if there is a person who is very fat and another person who is very slim, children, if both of them go out in the summer days, what will happen with the fatty person? He will suddenly feel more hot as compared to the slim person. किसी अगर गर्म जगह पे जाओ तो जो फैट पर्सन होता है उसको जल्दी गर्मी लगने लगती है. Similarly, if they go out in the cold climate, if slim needs 2 sweaters, fat person only need 1 sweater. Why? Because fat which is accumulated in his body, it provide every and some insulation. So insulation actually protect from heat and cold, right? So it provide protective padding to organs. So again, there's something, if so much fat is added to tissue, it acts as cushion which provide protection to organ, right? Reserve lipid which can utilize as energy when we need it. एक तरीके का एनर्जी ड्रिंक है. These adipose reserve lipid and later it utilize when there is the need of energy. Talking about the structure of adipose, extracellular matrix is not present. Right? So extracellular matrix is not there. Cells are embedded in matrix. Many types of cells are present, but out of them most abundant type of cell is known as adipocyte. Cells are filled with fat globules, triglycerides filled होता है. In this case, this is the picture of fat droplets. So these are the fat droplets. Fat is stored in the form of triglyceride inside the cell. So when we say that the person is suffering from obesity, when the number of adipocytes is increased, that means each adipocytes have fat droplets. So number of adipocyte increase, fat droplet increase, which leads obesity. Amount of fat is increased. So if number of adipocyte increase, the desired number, we say the person is suffering from obesity. That means number of adipocyte is increased, and number of adipocyte varies from age to age, right? So this is about the adipose tissue. It is the loose connective tissue. So till now we have discussed about the connective tissues. In the next video we will discuss about another category of animal tissue, that is the muscular tissue, right? So in the next video we will discuss about muscular tissue. Till then, have a nice day, stay safe, stay home.